Djanogly.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And can I say, firstly, how pleased I am to see the government bringing forward the proposals aimed at stamping out illegal hare coursing. This is an issue that I and many other rural MPs have campaigned for the best part of a decade, not least arising from the extreme violence shown by the coursers in Cambridgeshire and in many other rural parts of the country. To those that try and stop them, that's farmers, local people and even police. The coursers show disregard for property rights and cause huge amounts of damage to crops and hedges. Farmers in Huntingdonshire, I give way to my fellow Huntingdonshire colleague.
I'm grateful to my honourable friend for giving way, and as a neighbour in Cambridgeshire, I'm well aware of the difficulties that this legislation seeks to put right. Would he agree with me that when this matter has been raised with the police, one of the main points that they raise is that up till now the legislation has not had any teeth? With the progression of this legislation, hopefully they will have what they've always wanted. And would he agree with me that what we really need once this legislation is on the statute books is for the police and Crown Prosecution Service to ensure that penalties are inflicted in the maximum form to those who are found guilty, not only as punishment for them, but also to act as a powerful deterrent to others?
I thank my honourable friend for his contribution, which I agree with in every regard. And he makes the important point that as much as legislation is put on the statute book, it has to be enforced. But I think he will agree with me from the experiences we've both had talking to local police that they are looking to see this legislation, they are waiting for this legislation, and that they will act on it, and no doubt we will both be keen to see that happen. But let me just explain a little bit about the problem, because farmers have been complaining bitterly to me with good cause. They have a tough enough job as it is, without the worry of these coursing criminals. The basic problem is that the Hunting Act provisions often fail to work due to their complexity. So prosecutors started to use the old 19th century anti-poaching laws. Whilst these worked evidentially, they failed to have the penalty clout required. Fines of tens or hundreds of pounds were pretty meaningless when there are dogs worth tens of thousands and gambling opportunities of hundreds of thousands. I even heard that the coursing was being streamed into city pubs for gambling purposes. The problem then got worse because the threat of intimidation was so high to farmers versus a low penalty risk for the perpetrators that a lot of farmers did not want to get involved in prosecutions at all. Now, with this legislation leading to higher levels of fines and confiscation orders and the ability to charge for the detained dogs and their living costs, I think that we have a much better chance of significantly reducing coursing. Now, armed with these powers, rural police forces will be able to get to work against the perpetrators, and I know that in Cambridgeshire they will have the support of all the county MPs, and we've heard from one of them this evening. And I should say all of the county MPs have been actively involved in this campaign. These anti-coursing measures represent a great example, I believe, of how this government is acting in the best interest of the countryside, of the farming community, to counter rural crime, and they have my full support.